Hey, all my amazing Facebook Live family. How are you guys doing? I know it's been a while for me doing the literally doing Speak Easy because we're at episode 41, but I've been doing some interviews behind the scenes and posting those up on YouTube. And don't forget that you can still get the replays of the other videos on YouTube as well. For whatever reason, it seems like I am really dark right now. Let's change where that is. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. It just seems really dark. Hey, Fatima. Hey, sis. So, guys, as you guys are coming in, thank you so much for those catching the replay. I always appreciate it. Hey, Tanika. How are you, sis? I'm going to be reaching out to you, Tanika, because I will be in your neck of the woods next week, and I wanted to talk to you. Hey, Mike. How are you? And so that part. Super excited about everything that's coming down the pipeline. Yeah, so I thought that I put on my do not disturb and it went through. So, guys, that part. But like I said, super excited about everything that's going on behind the scenes. So much being done. I will be on the West Coast next week for a training for a conference, and so I'm not speaking, but I will be on the West Coast. So that being said, like I said, it is episode 41 of Speak Easy. I'm like super uber excited because, again, hey Sabrina, how are you? We've been looking at some amazing things behind the scenes. I've been doing some interviews and posting those up on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, you can go and check me out on YouTube, Altavise Pelzer. I don't remember the link. Hey, John, how are you? So, that part. And you guys know that I come to you usually about 2:30, 3 o'clock for Speak Easy, where we talk about the behind the scenes of what it is to be a speaker or an author. That part. That part. And so, with that being said, the filter is doing its own thing. It's all right. Today we're going to talk about average effort gets mediocre results. And so as a speaker, a lot of times people go into the mindset of wanting to be a speaker, and they want to do average. They just want to do the bare minimum. They want to do the basics. And they think that doing the basics is what's going to get them to the level of Les Brown. Doing the basics is what's going to get them to the level of all of these different speakers. And guess what? That's not it. Hey, Sharon, that's not it. What you have to understand is that, guess what? They put in a whole lot of effort to get to where they were. So, average effort gets mediocre results, no matter how you look at it. Oh my goodness, like it's just so... I don't know if it's Facebook doing the most or what. I think it is Facebook. Okay. No worries. Can y'all guys hear me? Give me a 1 in the comments if you can hear me okay. I know that it's a delay on it, but it's like acting real funky right now. Hey, John. Yeah, it's acting like real funky right now. But like I said, average effort gets mediocre results. And as a speaker and as an author, guess what? It is no different. Average effort will always get you mediocre results. So the one that is walking around talking about that they can't be a paid speaker. Oh, thank you, Tanika. They can't be a paid speaker. They can't be a paid author. They can't be a full-time author. It's because they're looking at it as doing average effort. They're doing bare minimum effort. So I'm not promoting my book every day. I'm not finding a way to do online get book reviews. I'm not finding ways for me to do online book tour. I'm not looking at doing all of these things because I'm just looking at the bare minimum. A lot of times people write a book and they publish the book and then they think that that's it. That's the end result of it. I published the book and now everybody's going to buy it and I'm going to be a New York Times best-selling author. I'm going to be an Amazon best-selling author and I don't have to do anything else. And then what ends up happening is they end up having having this book that's on Amazon that's not doing absolutely anything. It's not doing anything at all. And in all actuality, one book, I cannot be honest in telling you guys this, one book can change your revenue. One book can change your revenue, because one book can become so many other things. You just need to know that you can't be average with it. You can't give average effort and expect above average results. It's not going to work. So I got 7 reasons, 7 things that you need to do in order for you to stop giving average, effort. It's just not working today. Facebook is doing the most. I have literally, it is like all over the place today. Hey, Kiera. It is like doing the most. It is all over the place. And I'm thinking it's because a call came through. I don't know. Hey, Angela. That looks a little bit better. Okay. So average effort is going to give you mediocre results. So number one is you need to read. Now listen, some of y'all gonna get mad and say, but I don't want to read at all. Hey sis, some of you are gonna say I don't want to read, but if you're not pouring into yourself and growing yourself, then what's going to end up happening is you'll run out of stuff to tell. You'll run out of stuff to be able to share. You'll run out of ideas and information. And also, you will not be up to date on what's the most relevant things for your client and customer base. So guess what? Reading is important. It's fundamentals. Hold on one second, because everybody and anybody is trying to get in touch with me as I am live. Sorry about that, guys. Everybody's trying to get a hold of me. Thank you for sharing, Angela. Yes, so number 1 is you have to read. I have literally increased the amount of books that I have been reading. Literally, I've gone up to about at least a book or 2 books a week. 1 or 2 books a week. It's been bananas. And there's even been weeks where I've knocked out 3 books, 4 books. Because guess what? A lot of times we're saying that we don't have the time to read. And it's not that we don't have the time to read. It's that we're not utilizing our time to the best of its ability. Exactly, Angela. You get so much information. A lot of times you ask questions that by reading you could get the answer to. I'll repeat that for the cheap seats. You ask questions that by reading you could get the answers to. You can get the answers to. We end up spending and wasting a lot of time, energy, and money because we're putting all this stuff out for information that we can gain access to if we would just read. Number 2 is for us to stop listen, we got to network. Can I give y'all an example of what networking is not? Networking is not joining a group and dropping a link and that's it. Hey, Kendall, that's not networking. Networking is actually building a relationship with the people that you are looking to do business with. Networking is actually building a relationship with people that you would like to have in your Rolodex, as we used to call it. Don't judge. I pulled out the old school term in the Rolodex. So literally, if you have somebody in your Rolodex, it's somebody that you've communicated with. It's somebody that you've engaged with. It's somebody that you've networked with. Stop thinking that I'm just going to go in a group, drop a link, and people are going to buy my stuff. I'm going to go in a group, drop a link, and somebody's going to say, oh my goodness, you're amazing. Come speak at my event. It doesn't work that way. And yeah, the Rolodex. Had to take it back old school. Rolodex. Some of y'all still got a Rolodex. Don't fake. Don't fake the front. Don't fake it. Some of y'all still got a Rolodex. Yes, a Rolodex. So literally, networking means I am making an effort, a real one, to create conversation, an effort to create connections and build relationships for something that may come up later on down the line. The way that I have been able to build and strengthen my community is by networking. The way that I've networked and connected with some people all over. She said I do filled with business cards. Listen, that's right, Angela. It is about building a rapport. And so many people go into a group, especially going into a group. You don't check to see what the rules are of the group. You don't check to see what they're doing in the group. And then you decide that you're just going to drop a link and think that somebody's going to want to buy from you. And they don't know who the heck you are. Guess what? As a speaker, you can be in any group and network. You said what happens when you do that and people don't respond. You'll have some people that won't respond. You have to know what is going to be best. Hey Vita, how are you? You have to know what's going to be best for that particular relationship. Can we be honest? Can we be honest? Are you going to walk up to somebody on the street and ask them, can you have sex with them? Let's be real. Let's be honest. Are you going to walk up on the street and say, drop the drawers, I want to have sex with you? No, I would hope not. I would hope not. I hope that I am praying that the answer is no. But what you would do is you would build a rapport. You may ask them for their phone number. You'll build a relationship. You'll find out what they like, what they don't like. The same thing happens when you are in a group on Facebook, a group on LinkedIn. It's going to be the same thing. If you drop a link and go, that's like walking up to somebody and say, hey, I want to sleep with you tonight. Okay, so would that be before or after I call the police on you? Creepy. You wouldn't do it in real life, so why think that you can do it on social media? That is being average. That is what the average person does. I've literally seen people who go through social media and they take one link and one meme, or they take one flyer and they literally just post it in all these different groups. And then they can't understand why they're not getting any results. Listen, right? Vita said, hell no. Right? Kendall said it. You know better than that. You're not going to walk up on somebody and be like, hey, I want to have sex with you. No, it's not going to work. That's what it is. And so we have to understand that there is a protocol to social media. As a speaker, as an author, I'm not dropping links just to drop links. I will go and I will engage. I will do storytelling. I will go and communicate with people. Because guess what? I don't want anybody doing that to me, so I'm not going to do it to anybody else. Exactly. That's it. It's like walking into their home. I'm not going to just walk in your home and then go lay in your bed. Walk in my home and then go lay in my bed. When you wake up in the ER, explain to them why you walked in my home and laid in my bed. I'm just saying. We gonna just say it like that. I'm just saying. And so networking is building a community. It's building relationship. So number three is you got to start writing down things daily. Now, somebody out there is going to say, but I'm not an author. Well, you're not an author simply because you haven't published a book. Not my fault. That's your fault. Because if you go to bit.ly/speak loud, you can get the recording, you can get the replay for writing your book in a weekend. So don't give me the excuse that you don't have a book. Not my problem. Not my monkey, not my zoo. That is your fault because you haven't gotten it done. So bit.ly/speak loud in order for you to get that replay. But guess what? Write every day. And so many people would say, well, I'm not a writer, so I don't have to write every day. No, as a speaker, you should be writing every day because that's how you come up with content. That's how you keep coming up with ideas. That's how you put programs and processes together, is by you going and literally putting things on paper. Angela said, I'm writing now. Right? Michael said, no, Goldilocks. We not about that life. We're not about that life. I have to be putting stuff on paper every day. So for me, I'm not writing a speech every day, but I'm writing down ideas. I'm doing a brain dump every day. I'm writing down, thoughts that just pop into my head. Guess what? It helps you in the long run because you can go back to that information that you're writing down, and that can be any number of things. But as a speaker, you can go back to that information, and that information could be your next top-notch speech. Hey, Ashley. Hey, sis. That can be your next amazing speech. And you might have written it down 6 months ago. Just an idea that popped in your head. You have to understand the importance of daily routines. So writing once a day, even if it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, writing every day as a speaker and an author is literally something that you need to do. Yes, it's called a brain dump. I get up in the morning and literally will go and write stuff out. Because I'm always thinking about stuff. I'm always coming up with new ideas and new opportunities, not just for me, but new opportunities for my clients. I may be asleep and wake up in the middle of the night and come up with an idea. I'm going to write that down. And that may be something else to add to my store. Exactly. Yes, it does, Vita. And so that was number 3, is you got to write daily. Get into the habit of putting things on paper on a regular basis. Number 4 is, listen, in order for you to stop being average, you have to learn how to create a door when there isn't one available. That means you got to come out your comfort zone. That means that you got to come out of your little space. That means that you got to come out of your feelings. That means that you got to come out your little box, and you got to do something outside the norm. Create a door when you don't see a door already available. Guess what? It can mean all the difference between you getting that 6-figure contract, that 5-figure contract, that even a 4-figure contract. If you don't create a door, you never know what is going to be in store for you. You never know what opportunities are out there and available for you. Mediocre and average, they don't create a door. They see a closed door and they never try to open it. Or they see no door at all and they turn around and go back to the starting line. We got to stop being average. And in order for us to stop being average, we literally have to look at what have been the processes that we've been using. What has been the process that we've been doing to get to the point we're at right now? What has made us mediocre? What has made us average? And then we got to look at those things or rip them apart and say, okay, I'm no longer going to do that. That thing, that I'm not doing that anymore. See, that's what it's about, sis. That's what it's about. That thing, I'm not doing that anymore. And so with everything that we have going on, we really have to take that into consideration, because if we're trying to reach the Les Brown level, the Tony Robbins, the Lisa Nichols level, then guess what? They don't do average. Exactly. That you better come on. Sometimes people don't know what they need until they see it. They don't know that they're stuck in a spot until you show them that they're stuck. They don't realize just how long they've been in the dark until you shine some light on the situation. But you have to be willing to make a door where there's not a door already. You have to. And so that's number 4, is you got to be willing to create a door. In order for you to go from average to above average, that's what you got to do, because the average person won't do it. And so number 5, and we were talking about this one earlier when we were talking about reading, is research. Some of y'all, I just got to take a moment of silence. Hold on. Some of y'all, hey Jose, how are you? Some of you won't ask Uncle Google not a darn thing. Nothing. You won't ask him a street address. You won't ask him for directions. You won't ask him for nothing. And your business is literally suffering because of it. You won't ask Uncle Google. You won't get a coach. You won't invest where the research is necessary. You won't invest. And so your business suffers. And yes, as an author and a speaker, you guys know I'm always telling you that you are a business owner. You are an entrepreneur. If you are an author, you're an entrepreneur. If you are a speaker, you are an entrepreneur. So there's no excuse, none, as to why you are not doing the research that is necessary, right? Sometimes you got to hurt their feelings a little bit. Just a little bit. Hey, Dr. Clay, how are you? Listen, just a little bit. You got to ask Google. Find out what Google said. Oh, you know what? Connect with me, Angela, because I'm actually in a small town as well. And that's what I do. That's what I do. I do classes. I actually have a membership group where I put opportunities in there for you to speak, opportunities in there for you to get interviews, and I do webinars for you guys to learn the process of what it means to be a paid speaker, not just a speaker, because we got people that have been speaking for years and not getting paid for it. They've been getting them chicken dinners and a soda on the side. A let it rain, a clear it out. That's what they've been getting. So we have to condition ourselves to ask for money. We got to condition ourselves to see how it is we need to position ourselves. So that information, to be a part of the community, it's bit.ly/DTM member, and that's the Drop the Mic group. And literally, it's $39 a month. In there, you get so many resources. Their challenge for this month is reaching out to colleges and universities. And yeah, the challenge for next month will be reaching out to elementary, middle, and high schools and creating a plan, an actual plan and an actual program for you to go to the schools with, not just reaching out to them and saying, hey, I want to talk to your students. We do email scripts. We do all of that in there. So bit.ly/DTM member. That's for you to be able to get into that membership group. And there's a lot of information in there for you. So research, number 5, research. We got to learn to research. Number 6 is you got to get your time management together. So our weekly accountability call, that was one of the things we talked about, was time managing. Yes, indeed. Time management. Because guess what? Listen here. So many people, I always hear, I don't have enough time. Oh, I can write a book, but I don't have enough time. I got so many things that I'm doing. I don't have enough time. We talk about, oh, I don't have enough time. But guess what? It's not that you don't have enough time. It's that you're not using your time wisely. Let's take it back old school. It's not that you don't have enough time. It's that you would rather binge watch Power instead of sit down and get a book done. I literally had a client, and this time last year we were preparing to go to an event in Florida, and she was that support system, she was that encourager, that's who she was. And she never thought that she would have a book done. And so she took this course, which I told you guys is bit.ly/speak loud. She took this course, and literally 2 weeks ago, she wrote not one, not two, but 3 books in 1 weekend. She got 3 books done in 1 weekend. Exactly, Michael. People will find time to do exactly what it is that they think is important to them. Whatever is important to them, they'll find time to do it. That's the truth. They will find time to do it, whatever is important to them. So you need to start prioritizing your time. The other issue is that people will run and give everybody else priority of their time and leave themselves completely off of their own list. You'll run and give everybody time and priority. You'll give your job priority over what you need to do for you. You'll give your children priority over what you need to do for you. You'll give your spouse priority. Like, you'll give everybody priority, and then you're not on your to-do list. You're not on there at all, or you're the last thing on your to-do list. Guess what? We need to start putting and refocusing some things and some priorities and saying what's really important. Hey, Fred, how are you? We really need to determine what's important and what's not. What do we need to accomplish and what we don't need to accomplish? And then when we look at that stuff, when we look at those things, we gotta take some action and change some things. But the reality is, guess what? You have time. You're just not a very good steward over your time. I'll say it in a nice way. I'll say it in a nice way. You're just not a very good steward over your time. But you have the time. What will you do with it? And so literally time is that factor. And then lastly but not least, number 7 is you don't take action. That's the biggest piece. Is you get all these links, you get all these webinars, you get all these resources, you get all this information, and then don't use it at all. You take absolutely no action. None. And then the end result is you're like, oh, that class, it just wasn't for me. No, it wasn't the class. It was you. You didn't take action. And so we really need to go back and look at that and say, what do I need to do in order for me to stop being average? Where do I need to put myself? How do I position myself so I can stop being average? It's time to stop being average. That part. Yes, exactly. It's mind over matter. And a lot of times, and we're just fighting ourselves. Like, we're not fighting anybody else. We're fighting ourselves a lot of the time. That's it. You got to apply what you learned. I literally had to do go through my laptop and literally clear out all of this stuff that was sitting in my laptop from classes that I had taken, information that I never used and never was going to use, information that had nothing to do with me. I learned to stay in my lane. I learned what to take action on and what to outsource. I learned what to take action on and what is not a part of my business that I don't need to be taking action on. I had to learn that part. Yeah. So I thank you guys for joining me again. Those who want to join in on this Drop the Mic group, it's bit.ly/ DTM member. The link is in the comments. And those who are joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget that you can still swipe and invite even on the replay, and you can still give reactions on the screen. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming and spending some time with me today for episode 41 of Speak Easy. Average effort gets mediocre results, and it's time for us to stop having mediocre results. I look forward to seeing you guys later on. Don't forget to press it out.